are here.
Woo!
We are live.
Live, son.
At 4 Horsemen Studios for the Money in the Bank Show. Johnny Rock.
Yo.
I am superstoked.org
Wow.
for part 3
Yeah, man.
of Edge Adam Copeland interview. What he talks about in this next interview segment, it's gonna blow your mind. What do we got with this segment?
Well, he talks about his series with The Undertaker, culminating with him headlining WrestleMania. He talks about the matches they had with the Hardys and the Dudleys.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks about having his final match at WrestleMania and going out as champion. So it's definitely something to look forward to. Keep tuned. It's coming up later on in the show.
And not to mention, John,
Yeah.
where he's going next. Where are we going next? We're going to Monday Night Raw.
Let's go.
Starting off with Daniel Bryan and Randy
Yes.
Orton.
Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
Tell me what you think about this series. They've had the rubber match now.
Well, listen, these matches have been fantastic. They stole both shows, and I thought that last match was pay-per-view level at the way the match went.
Yeah.
The wrestlers, the chemistry they did, and the ending, clean. Daniel Bryan won clean.
Have you seen Randy Orton put on his tap dance shoes and tap out? Like a 6th grader in a recital, he was tapping, lapping, and I was like, okay, he won.
I haven't seen him Gene Kelly in a long time. Like that is a
he
shot
did.
and a half to see him tap out like that.
The last time I saw him, Richard Pryor, I must have been like, but
Richard
seriously.
Pryor. Maybe Gregory Hunt. Maybe Gregory Hunt.
Hey, we're all looking alike.
Well, but my thing with Daniel Bryan is it seems he has grown in his ferocious attacks, and his kicks could chop down trees. Like, it's amazing the strength that he has in those feet.
He must be doing squats or something. I don't know.
Maybe that's
He's
what
the
it is.
world's toughest vegan.
I'm a big fan of it. And the thing is, where do we go from here?
Yeah, see, the thing is, I thought that they were going to
done.
move him into the world title picture.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to move Orton into the WWF title picture.
Right.
The WWE title picture. What's happening? What are they doing with these guys?
I don't know. We're going to find out, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. But the weak link thing is done. So we need to. So we're going to see what happens with Orton and with Bryan.
Guess what? We're done.
All right, welcome back to the Money in the Bank show. As you can see, my compatriot Andre is in perfect position.
Break the walls down!
We're talking about Del Rio and Jericho.
Oh, man.
What do you think, Dre?
One of the best matches I've seen on Raw.
Wow,
To me,
that's a strong statement.
yes, it is.
Okay.
The way that these guys work the match,
Yeah.
you forget how good Jericho is.
You really do.
He's such a workhorse, and he really
really is.
does whatever the company asks him to
Right,
do.
for his age,
He's 42.
he is killing it.
I mean, how is it like to be 42?
It's not easy, let me tell you that. To be constantly in a ring and getting beat by other muscular men, a certain level of respect.
Dude,
he deserves.
the way that, okay, first of all, Del Rio comes out, and his ring announcer
Ricardo
comes out with the heel. How you doing, South Carolina?
Yeah, that was
Heel.
hilarious.
He is just the heel thing for those two works.
Listen, Del
better.
Rio, I love him even more now as a heel. Yes. He's even better as a heel.
Yes.
That's where he belongs. That's what he's best at. That's what all Latinos really love to do, is to be heels. And it's perfect that he goads the audience. And what Ricardo said was brilliant with the whole Southern accent thing.
And I'll tell you this.
In good matches.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Something's going on with Jericho.
You think he's coming heel?
No, I don't know what it is, but the WWE is preparing Jericho for a little push. You guys don't see it coming, but it's happening.
We'll see.
Gordon Vision.
All right, well, we'll be right back with another segment after this.
Gordon Vision. Don't. But John's seen his promos.
Oh my God. Here we go.
I have not forgotten my challenge to you, John.
Oh.
The stipulation is coming.
Yeah.
But this promo to me signified and represents
everything
that John has been in the company. It's forced, over the top, and I actually don't want to talk about it anymore.
Wow.
What Mark Henry did last week,
that was amazing.
His promo was genius.
Yes.
And you compare it to, and I'm the champ.
Well, I tell you, I kind of came around a little bit on the Cena promo.
Makes me cough.
He was really strong.
As always.
And he stated what he felt. And he felt that the champ was here. And he felt that it was our equals time, which is our time, or whatever that said on the back of his shirt. But yes, I agree with you. That was a terrible promo, and it's so annoying how much they push him over.
What I don't like, John,
because he was so great last week playing with the Mark Henry.
That was great.
Wasn't
Cena
was amazing
great last week?
Why doesn't he do more of that?
That was beautiful,
wasn't it? He
sold it. And he's like, "Oh, see, this is why I love the crowd because you guys are so opinionated." Yeah. Basically, he's trying to dismiss the fact that he's getting booed.
All right, right. Well, let's stop because we hate it.
Yes.
Tell him, Dre, about a guy who did amazing promos. Who's coming up next?
You think you know him? You clearly don't, because what we found out with this Edge interview, which is coming up right now,
the Rated R Superstar,
is the Rated R, and it gets Rated R. Let me tell you something. Part 3 of the in-depth look at Adam Copeland, Edge. Hello, hello. We are right back here at Four Horsemen Studios with Adam Copeland, Edge, and we are going to get right back to it.
Let's do it.
You know, I got to ask you, Adam. For me, I'm also a film director, and I had a chance to direct Morgan Freeman and interview Jerry Rice and, like, watch my idols. Like, I'm actually working with my idols. For you, what was it like having a series of matches with The Undertaker? Because everybody who watches wrestling knows about the legend of The Undertaker. And not only did you wrestle him at WrestleMania, the streak.
The streak, right.
I mean, how was that for you?
I mean, what it was, first and foremost, was kind of a tip of the hat. Because they're giving you a shot with the most, I don't know if endearing is the right word, but at least longest tenured character, kind of in the history of the business. And it is a character. It's not like, you know, Adam Copeland or, you know, John Cena or something. It's like The Undertaker is a full-on character. You know, he is the dead man and all of those things. So it's when you are able to get in there and go to WrestleMania and do a long program with them, it's kind of a tip of the hat. And from the perspective of having his respect and him wanting to do all of that with me was another huge kind of gratification, because it was, you know, if he doesn't want to wrestle you, he's only going to do it so often. And I think we had like 5 or 6 pay-per-views back-to-back over, you know, a span at the end of our program, which lasted like, I think like 18 months or something. So what was a huge compliment was the fact that he knew he could trust me. Trusted my vision of matches, and you know, in order to have that, I'd like to think you got to be pretty good. And so that was kind of a validation. Like, okay, they trust me. They trust me to put me in this position. They trust me to be in there with him, and he trusts me too. Which, more than anything, I think was the biggest compliment. So massive. I guess validation, you know, because at that point I was like, okay, cool. I did everything I set out to do now. I now main evented WrestleMania. I did it against friggin' Undertaker. That doesn't get much better.
And speaking of your pay-per-view matches, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the matches that really put you and Christian and the Hardys and the Dudleys on the map. I don't know how much. We could spend probably 3 hours talking about all the matches that you guys had together, tag team and 6-man tag team matches. How much of that was talked about ahead of time? How much of that was in the moment? And how much of that was the trust that you guys were building as you were having these matches throughout this section of your career?
Well, with those matches, they're fun to do, because it's basically, you know, a tornado through a trailer park, in the respect that there's no real parameters. You're supposed to use these tools, and you're supposed to make it look like a car wreck. But with that being said, it's hard to really call it on the fly, because you're using these objects that you don't know where they're going to break or anything like that. So you have to try and map out some kind of idea and where people are going to be, so that you're not flying off of a ladder through a table as they're walking by or something. You know, so because of that, you had to. I mean, you don't just call. Okay, I'm going to be on a 20-foot ladder in one corner. Right. Bubba is, hey, Bubba, can you pull Jeff back so that he swings to the middle of the ring? You can't just, it doesn't accidentally happen. You have to have some ideas going into them.
Right.
And then when you throw in 6 to 8 guys, you really, it's like a chess match. You have to make sure these pieces are over here, these pieces are over here, so that these 2 pieces can do this, crash and burn, and then here come the other 2 pieces, and so on. So they were fun to do, just to see creatively where we could go with it and how high we could set the bar. But I, at the end of the day, would still prefer to get in just one-on-one with someone.
Right.
Not really have a whole lot mapped out, but the finish and just go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, real quick, just as a follow-up, Adam, on that, the famous move is obviously the spear off the ladder, and that was probably the funniest part of the documentary. Like when people were asking you, so did you guys, how many times did you guys practice that? But the truth is, you must have had, at some point, how did that decision come about? Was it really in the moment, and you're relying on, and how much of that was Jeff Hardy knowing you were going to do it and bracing for the fall?
Well, you can't brace for that.
Okay.
There's no way to brace for it. It's a matter of trusting me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had an idea that we wanted to do it, but we didn't know if it was possible.
Right.
Because you can't do it more than once. You just have to hope you catch lightning in a bottle and go, okay, I think on paper, I think we can do this. But actually doing it is a whole different ballgame. And you can see, like, I kind of do an initial start and realize, oh, shit, if I jump right now, I'm not going to reach him.
Right.
You can see I do a little hitch.
Yeah,
and that little hitch could have made an entirely different highlight reel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I held, and thankfully the ladder didn't tip over.
Right.
And then I re-jumped. It's real subtle, but, it was the difference between a complete disaster and, ending up looking like something out of the Matrix like it did.
Right.
Well, matches like that, and of course all of the Money in the Bank matches,
right?
That led to your title reigns, some of your title reigns. Those compared to your last match, going out on top as the champ after WrestleMania with Alberto. I know that you were hurt, and you can talk a little bit about that, but could you have written a better ending? It's like winning the Super Bowl and then retiring.
Right.
But I know that you had the injury, so were there some mixed emotions at the time, or were you at peace with it right when you knew that you had to call it quits?
It's interesting. I think Ray Lewis really, bit me this year by retiring as champ. But, that's a different story, I guess.
Yeah.
But, no, seriously, I didn't know that was going to be my last match. Nobody knew it was going to be my last match.
Right.
So I think it's strange because in a absolute perfect world, I'd like to wrestle Jay at WrestleMania in Toronto in my last match.
Yeah.
No, it's my last match. Yip-de-doo, here we go.
Yeah.
But all of that being said, you retire as world champion because of it, and because of the injury and not knowing all of those things. So I don't think emotionally I wasn't. Not that I would be an emotional wreck for my last match, but there's definitely going to be more emotions going into it, knowing, okay, this is it. I didn't know it was it. So it made it easier to kind of go, okay, this is WrestleMania. It's a big match.
Right.
But I know I'm going to have a lot more, so cool.
Right.
So there was, I never really had any nerves anyway, but there wasn't the extra emotional baggage along with it. I knew that I was getting closer, and I knew stuff was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was strange. It was like it was affecting my breathing. It was affecting my reactions because it was all nerve related. So, I'd be going to do things that before I wouldn't have to think about, and I was really having to think about it. And so I knew that's usually that's when it's getting close to time, if not time already.
Right.
Obviously, knowing now what I know about what was going on with my spine, I mean, wow, the fact that we did that at all is kind of crazy. But we got through it. I was happy with it. you know, I wasn't aching too badly after or anything like that. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't know, because it would have made it a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, great stuff. All right, we're going to take one last break and come back and talk about Adam's life, new life, behind the camera as a film and TV actor. We'll get that scoop when we come back.
What you want?
I'll tell you, I'm a little moved by that Edge talking about his last match and going out on top. I'm so happy that we got that on this show, man. That's you know, the guy's just he's just so amazing. And so it's great to hear his stories. But anyway, we need to move on to the current stuff, and we're going to talk about CM Punk. We're going to talk about Paul Heyman.
Do you know what I am?
What's that?
I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Oh, no.
I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
You are. Tell me what did you think?
Paul Heyman is so good. He's so good.
The promo were fantastic.
The way that he comes down the aisle very similar to the way that Vince does when he's walking down and he's like, oh my God.
That was a good promo, brother.
I love Paul Heyman, what he's doing with this. They are situating this triangle affair between Lesnar and Heyman.
And Axel, throwing in Axel, right?
Is getting tossed in. What do you think about way they are setting up Lesnar versus Punk?
I think it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be an awesome match. And I love the way Punk is promoting. He may be bigger, he may be stronger, but he ain't better than me.
Ooh,
and that was awesome.
It was.
And I love the fact that you believe it, because you've seen Punk conquer so many people, no matter what the size. And I think it's going to be a fantastic match. And if anyone can get a good match out of Lesnar,
it's going to be Punk.
CM Punk.
And Axel's getting a little push of this too.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about this whole segment.
Punk for that. Yeah.
I'm sorry I doubted you, Paul.
Oh my God.
And then he hugged
the hug. The extra long hug.
Huggate. I'm calling it Huggate. Huggate 2013. And we'll be right back. Speaking of Huggate, this next segment is brought to you by USANA Health Sciences. This is how we do it. .usana.com. We're going to go to that little break. I'm going to have a little USANA bar. Oh. And we'll be right back. John.
Yo.
I'm ready here to talk about TNA, except that I fell asleep.
What? You fell asleep?
Okay, I was watching
the
first 45 minutes. I tried, man. The Aces of Eights, I get it. Then we had
Wait, this was the Bound
for Glory series. What is this?
This was Open Fight Night tonight.
What is Open? Is it Bound for Glory or Open Fight Night?
Well, it leads to Bound for Glory.
It's Bound for Glory.
Part of the Bound for Glory series. Yeah.
It's Slash. It's Cordell Stewart. How many slashes are there?
Stop it. There was all these fights. Jeff Hardy, Rude, Hernandez, Joseph Park, Chris Daniels, Magnus, Samoa Joe, Jay Bradley, AJ Styles, Austin Aries, Mr. Anderson, and Lenara. And it was fantastic.
Okay.
The fights were amazing.
Really?
Well, not all of them, though.
Okay.
I know why you fell asleep. Those first couple of fights were kind of boring, although I did think the Aries-Bradley match was nice. Bradley's a young kid. He's coming along. I think he did a nice job with Aries. You did? Okay. Well, that's understandable. The Hernandez-Daniels, boring. Kazarian, that's what I meant to say then. Kazarian, I don't understand why he's still in the mix. He bores the living piss out of me. He's bored the living piss out of me since day one. And Magnus did a nice job. But I'll tell you what is the most boring part of this whole thing.
What's that?
Is the Bully Ray storyline with Hogan and Brooke. It's still so friggin' lame. Brooke has no pop from the audience.
None!
Absolutely zero. She walks out and the audience literally, emotionally groans. And you see the kids and the people in the front like clapping because they're probably being told they have to do that.
Yeah.
We've been to TV tables. We know how it works.
Yeah.
But I think she has no personality. Like, she's so boring. And you compare it to what's going on with the WWE women. It's way, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's way more personality with Stephanie and AJ and Caitlyn doing the stuff that they're doing than what you see there. So anyway.
Well, we're done with this.
Yes.
We got dinged out like 10 seconds ago. And
Sorry
guess
about
what?
that.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to sleep on this TNA.
Oh my God.
I'll be right back.
Hello, my little students. I'm the TA, and this is This Week in Professional Wrestling History. Teach us, Professor. We can't wait to hear.
Greetings. I'm the Professor, and let's get right to it. In 1992, the Super Destroyers beat Glenn Osborne and Max Thrasher to become the first ever ECW Tag Team Champions. 2002, we saw AJ Styles win a 4-way match to become the first ever NWA TNA X Division champion. And now for the Professor's pick. You might think this is a tough one, because in 2002, we saw the debut of John Cena on Smackdown. Though also, there's 2011 on a Raw broadcast where CM Punk did his infamous pipe bomb promo, bringing in the reality era to the WWE. But as the Professor, I have to go with 1992, where we saw the unfortunate passing of the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. When Vince Sr. and his partners started the WWF, they knew that the territory was only as strong as their champion. So they told fans that they held a tournament in Brazil to name their new champion for this territory. Of course, this tournament never actually took place. They simply handed the belt to the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. With his bleached blonde hair, tan body, and better-than-you heel persona, you might think that he's a bit cliche, seeing that we have Hennig, Flair, and Ziggler. But Buddy Rogers was the first person to ever do this character, to ever play this persona. And if that's not enough for you, he invented the figure 4 leg lock. And that's your lesson for the day.
That was an exhilarating lesson. I may need to go home and think about that on my own. Class dismissed.
Greetings, I'm the Professor with your Move of the Week. Helping me this week will be from the halls of academia, the TA. And as always, from the island of Tonga, Matt Practice. Now this week's move is the eye poke. It's a simple move, basic move, that does maximum damage. It blinds your opponent temporarily so you can take advantage. The other variation on this move is the standing eye poke. Again, just as effective. Just like Bobby the Brain Heenan always says, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Again, that was your move of the week. Thanks again, the TA, Matt Practice, and again, I'm the Professor.
All right, we are back to the Money in the Bank show. With the Money in the Bank show, we are going into the lightning round. Our producer throws out subjects and we talk about them. Go, Abby.
Christian.
Oh, Christian.
He's back.
He's so back.
The peeps.
Woo!
Got jumped by the Shield.
Kill switch.
What do you think about the kill switch, by the way?
I love that move.
I think it's great.
I think it's great too. His head, full weight of the body on top of your head.
It's funny. People are complaining about it that it takes too long to set up.
Oh, for God's sakes. Kiss my ass. Listen, I think it's fantastic with the Shield. I love that they finally used the Shield to do something. Hey, they're the champions. They should be doing something. So I love them attacking Christian.
Me.
Yeah, I know.
They're losing me.
The Rock.
Oh, The Rock showed up on Raw.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Raw on the cover of the game.
Yeah.
And he's not even around.
That's surprising to me. Oh, I'm glad you had the same reaction I did. I'm like,
I love you, Rocky, but it just...
We do, but...
It feels out of place.
You're not a current wrestler.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It felt awkward.
It could be Punk. It should be Punk. I know it's Punk.
It should be Punk or Bryant.
Or Bryant. Bryant.
It should have been Bryant.
It should have been Bryant like this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, it should have been, Bryant on the cover. I agree.
Money in the Bank participants.
Oh.
The Money in the Bank.
These are some interesting participants.
Yeah.
Punk, Bryan, Sheamus, Orton, Christian, Kane, and RVD.
Punk, Bryant, Christian, Kane.
What? This is an interesting... Why is Kane in this match?
I don't know. The word is his service has been so respected for the WWE that he could get one last run.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
The word of the street could be that he gets one last run.
There's too many good guys ahead of him.
I know.
No.
I know. I think Bryan's going to win it.
You think Bryan's going to win?
I do.
Yes, I agree. Bryan will win. Oh, and that's the end of our lightning round.
Ding! Lightning out!
On to the next segment.
What you want?
We are back for John and I, one of our favorite segments.
The favorite segment.
The glass ceiling Wrestler of the Week. John?
Yes?
Would you like to know who my glass ceiling wrestler of the week is?
I would love to know who you're going to say.
The Usos!
What?
Yes!
You're watching them?
Yes. You know what?
right.
I've made a plea for the tag team division to come back. We have the original tag team belts sitting here on the table.
Bam.
The Usos are back. They've been in the WWE for 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Really?
They don't even have a shirt.
My gosh.
They are Hornswoggle has a shirt.
They're Samoans.
They don't have a shirt, guys. They are good in the ring. They move well. They come from a lineage that is great in the WWE.
Yes.
They could be a staple of the tag team division. Let's get them tag teams going back to where they were in the 80s. The Usos are that first step. Let's put them in with the prime time in the Shield.
Yeah.
The Usos. Let's do it. Huta. What do you got?
My glass ceiling wrestler of the week is the great Khali.
Oh, happy Barda.
I absolutely loved him fighting Ryback.
You did?
This week on Raw. He was beating the crap out of that man.
Yeah.
His power shots, the sound of them reverberated throughout the arena. And all I could think of was, why aren't they turning him hardcore heel? Wouldn't he be awesome as a hardcore heel?
He won the championship as a heel.
Yeah, they should do it even more hardcore. He should turn on Natalia or Hornswoggle.
He should pimp
them both out, become hardcore heel, and start whooping the crap out of everybody with like one shots.
Yes.
1 or 2 shots, like finishing matches quickly. People are shocked that he's winning.
Well,
it could work.
It could,
Trust me,
right.
it could work. And I think he did a great job because I thought he was a joke for a while, the last months or so, and I think the great way to turn him is, I'm tired of being a joke, I'll go to it, and he goes nuts. That would be awesome. So great, Khali, love what you did, keep it going.
That's it.
That's it.
For the glass ceiling wrestler of the week. Happy Bar Day.
Welcome back to the Money in the Bank show. We are at the end of the show. It is time for Direct to You by Dre and the Roker Rant. I'm going to start off. Dre, if that's good with you. My Roker Rant is going to be quick and fast, and it is to Hulk Hogan, my idol, my love, my first professional wrestler that I adored. Brother, stop it with your daughter already on TNA. Kill it, kill it, kill it. This is a quick one. Kill it, please. Do something, injury, put her on hiatus, whatever you need to do, resolve that damn storyline with Bubba Ray. Nobody likes it, nobody believes it. Please, for the love of God, kill that storyline. Let's move on. Get rid of Brooke. Let's get back to the wrestling. You've got good wrestlers. You've got good young wrestlers. Mine that talent and do something good with it. That's my rant. Hogan, please. Brother, do it. Drake.
My direct to you is directed to this anniversary of the tragedy of Chris Benoit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It has been quite some time since the happening where Chris Benoit had snapped and had that double homicide where he killed his wife Nancy and his son David, and then hung himself. There was a tribute going throughout the entire wrestling forums on behalf of Jericho, on behalf of Chris, all of his friends from the Canada area were reaching out on behalf of Benoit, not condoning what he did by any sense.
Of course.
Saying that they do miss his friend, they never could quite understand it. And it brings me to what we're talking about with the concussions. And how the head injuries could potentially play into the WWE storylines, and why maybe they're making it around this time more of an important story.
Interesting.
So I think my direct to you is directed to the WWE with this Benoit, with the concussions. I see potentially now why you did it and why you've actually distanced yourself from what Benoit did. And I hope that we can all learn from the things that happen when it comes to these head injuries. That's my direct to you, and that's our show.
That's great, Dre. That's a great direct to you, brother. Great direct to
I
you.
wanted to put in something.
Yeah, let's just hope they don't make a joke out of it. Like, that's the thing. Let's hope they really address it.
It's a serious thing.
I agree. It is.
You know what's a serious thing? Next week, the final chapter in the Edge interview where he talks about what is happening next in his career, what is happening currently in his life, and what he wants to do moving forward.
And if he's going to come back to the WWE.
We've got the exclusive. Where he's coming back to. That's our show, guys.
That's our show.
Tune in next week, and make sure you visit us on the web. The plate is coming up. Where you can like us and follow us. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hey, yeah, let's go.
Every time I try and get it, I can't. I'm gonna do it this time.
I'm gonna go watch the
Ultimate Warrior. I'm gonna Warrior.